I show it's 6 o'clock, September 8th, 2025. We're here for the Osage County Planning Commission meeting. Roll call. Gerhold. Bias.
Here.
Wiegand.
Here.
Reidner.
Here.
Shreve.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Lynn.
Here.
Do I have a motion to approve minutes, or, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 4, Director's Report.
Yep, I'll just go through a couple things. I know we just had a meeting 2 weeks ago, a special meeting, so I got to go over all the report stuff there. We are in the process of getting another bid, so we'll have 2 for the guttering.
Good.
Anthony's aware of that. And then also to the Board of Adjustment, we're working on 2 new cell towers, proposed cell towers, communication towers. Next month, there is 2 applications in for 2 proposed rezonings out by Crystal Bay. The same guy that developed the other ones. He's now getting information to us for that meeting in regards to state, not the state fire marshal, but Sky Tooten, since they do have the fire district out there. As far as all that, I just want to mention that to you. Next month, we also will have the final plat for the market, Sky Tooth Lake. That is the small little 10 lot subdivision out on Highway 20 past the lake that the gentleman proposed. And then that's all really that I want to mention today, since we went over everything last 2 weeks ago. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep, thank you.
Any new business? No. Oh, pardon me, any old business?
Maybe we didn't have
See the deal. I'm a mad hater. Any new business? Item number 7, discussion possible action on lot split 2240 for Rose Steamer.
Representatives here for them.
Well, I'm a neighbor.
Yeah, if you look at your packet there, this gentleman owns lot 27, Brent Sutterfield, has his name on there. His neighbor is wanting to give him about 1 acre on the back side there, so he's been taking care of it anyway, I hear, or something.
Very much.
And she's doesn't want to take care of that much, and she'll still leave her with over 1.5 acres. And so he just wanted to buy that back acre basically off of lot number 26. And there was no issues with it. There's access, there's easements and all that stuff. It'll just be added to his lot 27.
So what's the acreage of this split? How much is it, 1.5?
No, there'll be a 1.51 left for her and a 0.91 for him.
Okay.
Her house is on the front half of the acreage, and my garage opens to the back acreage, so.
There's no structures on it now, is
No.
So how much, is he gonna get a special deed and tie them together? when we're
Yeah,
done?
well, in this case, what you'll do is you'll just have, his deed will say lot 27, block 8, lot 27, and then he'll have the 238 by 166.30 of the east half, the east half of lot number 8,
Right.
and it'll be added to his deed.
It'll be added to his
Or will it be a
deed?
separate?
Well,
Or is it gonna be a separate
you can
deed?
add it to your deed, just do lot 27, and then that legal description of lot 8 to that one.
Okay.
Yep,
It's however works best. I don't
on the
care.
same deed.
All right, I got you. Okay.
I do have a warranty deed.
Yes.
For that parcel.
Any other questions on the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Item number 8, public hearing for rezoning 2601 Allen Betcham, Section 8, Township 21 North, Range 12 East, from agriculture to commercial. I'd like to open, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded to open the public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Board. My name is Alan Betchen. I'm with AAB Engineering and Surveying, so we're the engineers, civil engineers and surveyors for the proposed project. What's before you today is a couple of actions, one being a lot split, another being a rezoning request for a tract of land that is on the north side of 103rd Street North, just east of 52nd West. It's immediately adjacent to the commercial storage facility that's on the hard corner of that. This is a tract just east of it, so abutting and immediately adjoining that commercial use. The request is an ag to commercial rezoning request for us to build a Dollar General facility. I'll say this more as trying to save time and just not wasting a bunch of your time and effort, since there's plenty of people here that will have plenty to say about it. But the action that we're requesting isn't specifically for a Dollar General. We plan to construct a Dollar General. I want to be very clear about that. We're not hiding anything about what our intents are and what our goals are with the tract. But the request that's before the board is a request to zone to commercial for a tract of land that's immediately adjoining an adjoining commercial tract. It is for our purposes a Dollar General, but that's not the ask. Is it appropriate for commercial uses to be allowed on this particular tract of land? That's the request, and that's what we're asking you as a board to weigh in on and decide. Our opinion is that infrastructure is there. The road network can handle it. We're happy to provide whatever studies are necessary to demonstrate that's met. We're proposing on-site detention for the property, so no, we won't discharge one drop of water more than what it was pre-development on the site. We'll detain it on-site in the parking lot, and our peak release rates will be what they were pre-development. I can say that with emphatic clarity because that's my responsibility as an engineer, and we certify it. There's plenty of other things about appropriateness of users and whether or not those users, like a Dollar General, are appropriate in that location. And my statement to the board is that's really not what we're asking about. It's whether or not commercial uses, any commercial use, would be appropriate, even if it was an expansion of the storage facility. As long as it was any uses that are allowed under commercial is what we're asking about. It's not about any individual use. I'm really specific about that because I want to make sure that everybody's making decisions that are based off of the facts. And that is the fact of what we're requesting. We're not requesting to build a Dollar General. We're requesting for commercial zoning on a tract of land that's adjoining another tract of land and meets the separation standards from everything that staff and our opinions that we've met with them. We were offset the necessary distances from adjoining residential. That's what the ask is. I'm happy to answer any specific questions. Certainly don't want to mislead anybody or anything about what we're trying to do, but want to be very clear about the ask that's in front of the board.
Any questions from the board?
I have one. So just ballpark guess, if you did put a Dollar General there, you would be open to any kind of a business, correct?
If we did not put,
Yes.
it would be allowed. Any uses that are allowed in commercial zoning will be authorized by this. There are no.
So it could be a restaurant, it could be a nightclub, it could be about anything.
Any uses allowed by code are what would be allowed by the commercial use request. Yes, sir. Very clearly.
So, we're open to, basically, if they're open to, we would open the door up for any kind of commercial business, not necessarily Dollar General, but anything that could be put there with.
That would meet the commercial zoning.
Right.
Which is essentially what you have sitting right next to it in
Yes, sir, but
in the
there's a
storage
difference in
facility.
a quiet storage unit than a business.
But that storage unit doesn't have a requirement to be a storage unit. It's commercially zoned.
But I believe when they asked for that, though, they made it clear they were gonna put a storage. unit.
Hear me tell you, I want to be very clear with you. Our intention is to build a Dollar General here.
Okay.
If you approve this action, the lot split and the plan set, we're all ready to proceed with permits and full documentation of everything that we're asking for a Dollar General store to be constructed on that site. That is 100% our intent, and subject to this board and the county and the commissioners making a decision that agrees with this rezoning, we will pursue that action. That is 100% our intent. But it's important that what we're actually voting on is what what we're actually voting on. The legal stance of what we're asking for is zoning of a commercial tract of land adjoining the existing commercial tract of land, meeting the separation requirements as set out by the zoning.
Do you have anyone else to speak for you, Mr. Bedford?
The representatives of the developer are here. If there's any other questions that you had for them or anything specific about it, I want to be really respectful of your time. And I know you got a lot to hear, and I
Do
don't
you all
want
have anything to add?
What I would ask is if we could be at the end of the comments, that way we can address any particular things that come up. If you'll give me just a couple minutes at the end.
We'll see how timeline goes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank
Can
you.
we get your name, please?
Sure.
We need to.
Yep,
get your name.
it's Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T. The last name is Vandewille, V-A-N-D-E-W-I-E-L-E.
to. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have any questions.
Mr. Bruno, have they met all the requirements as far as your department has set forth for them?
To hold a public hearing?
As far as whatever paperwork, whatever regulation they need?
Yeah, just to meet a public hearing, yeah, they've done that.
Okay.
Yes, just for this meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of people I want to hear from tonight. And I believe we got a full room back there. I'd like to try to get to everybody, but we're not going to have time for everybody to get up here and everybody tell the same story, because I've seen that happen before and it takes up everybody's night. If somebody gets up to the podium to speak, please keep your remarks brief. Keep them on topic. And if somebody before you has said the same thing you were going to get up here and say, all we need to know is, are you for it or against it? Because that's could very well be what it boils down to in the long run. We don't need to hear the same story all night long, because we're going to be here till midnight if we do. Okay? Any opposition? Do we have anybody who wants to speak in opposition?
Yeah, I got a question, Charlie.
Sure, bud.
And whoever comes up or you speak, will you please state your name clearly so they can hear you?
Bud Beeston. If I understood that man correctly, he's really just wanting to change this from ag to commercial, correct? This meeting? That's what he's wanting to do, right? My hearing aids, I couldn't hear every word.
That's what this hearing is.
What does it say in the planning and zoning ordinance book about that? Can you do that, or do you have to have a topic?
Mr. Bruno just advised me that they've met all the requirements for planning and zoning.
Okay, so you don't have to have a topic to change that, you could just come into a meeting, is that
As far
correct? And just
as
say, I'd
far
like
as
to
the
change this
regulations,
from.
he has met all the documentation and he's
Let
following
me
through.
finish, sorry, please. You can change it from agriculture to commercial without any reason, correct?
There's a lot of people that have a piece of property, they want to zone it for commercial, so for selling reasons. So you don't have to say, here's what we're putting in there.
Okay.
You can propose to rezone property anytime you want if it's your property, if you go through the proper procedure, the proper channels to rezone it. You don't have to be specific. It's nice for our board, and they make some decisions based upon if it's not specific. How do we know? So there's a good
really,
chance.
today, it's not real Pacific then, right? I mean,
We're not voting on the Dollar General today.
I'm sorry.
We're not voting on the Dollar General today.
I
We're
know
voting
that,
on
I
the
know,
plans.
I'm
Okay?
still with the commercial versus agriculture.
Okay.
Okay.
I assume you're against, Bud. Bud, you're against.
You're against it.
What?
Are you-
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm against it.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak? Come up to the podium and state your name.
Appreciate that. Commissioners, my name is Nicholas Parsons. I live immediately adjacent to it. I'm a husband, father, 3 young girls, a small business owner in the area. I live in Earl Sperry, about 150 yards from the proposed commercial rezone. I'm the one who provided you much of the research that hopefully is in your packet tonight. I'd also like to provide you, if I'm able to, with the updated numbers for the petition to stop that. You can pass that out, or however you want to handle it. As of today, that's 457 families. immediately in the area that are against that.
From 3:45 to 4 something.
That was in the last week, I think, that we submitted that day. Yep, thank you for that. My family and I moved here to the area we're in to escape the rapid development, constant traffic, feeling that kind of corporate greed was swallowing everything in its path, and we chose Sperry because it offered something to us different: peace, space, the ability to raise our girls in a safe rural environment. So we put down roots there. My wife and I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building and improving our property. We did that with the confidence that this community would remain quiet, a safe place we move to. Our home is currently worth about $475,000. But research shows, and your packet shows, that homes near Dollar General stores, and I know you're voting tonight on a commercial, but realistically we can say whatever we want, we're voting on Dollar General. Research shows that homes near Dollar Generals lose 16 to 21% of their value within the first couple of years. So for me, that's $75,000 to $100,000 hit to my family's future. That's 5 to 10 times more than the annual sales tax revenue that the average Dollar General store in the United States would generate. And I'm just one. I mean, you look at, we got dozens and dozens and dozens of families out here. So you multiply that out, the collective loss is tens of millions to the adjoining areas. And this isn't just some store that's going to go a few miles away. The proposed site is 150 yards from my front door where my $3 play every single day. I want to ask you, how safe do you think that makes me feel as a father? Because I recently parked outside of the Dollar General store on Highway 20 in Collinsville. 9 o'clock in the morning, I had a phone call today. Within 5 minutes, I watched a man leave his car in pajamas holding a liquor bottle, drunk as hell. Walked into the store clearly high. Another couple stumbled out, high, yelling at each other, throwing things at each other, hit a curb on their way out of that store. That was 9 o'clock in the morning. These aren't neighbors that live in the neighborhood next door. They were drawn to that store, and that's what would sit 150 yards from my house and their house right now at 9 o'clock in the morning. Then there's the site itself. As you well know, it's in a flood zone, and I know the gentleman said they have a plan to mitigate that, but it is in a flood zone. And you don't need me to explain what happens when you pave over land in a flood zone. The water's going to go there somewhere, and that somewhere is into the neighboring properties, into the fields, the homes of these people out here right now, and causing potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. Add in 80,000-pound semi-trucks that deliver to those stores on the tiny roads that are not built for them, and the environmental and safety cost is going to fall on us, not on the measly $15,000 or $20,000 of sales tax revenue that Dollar General brings in. So let me respectfully ask you this: how many tens of thousands or maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars have you already committed this year to repairing 52nd Street North, a road worn down nothing by $300 for $3,500, $4,500, or 45-pound commuter cars? Imagine what a daily semi-truck delivery is going to do on 52nd Street North and 103rd, which is significantly smaller. Tonight, Brett Regal has been so kind to provide you, I believe, the P&Ls for his store in that area. Brett's top-line revenue is actually pretty similar to the average top-line revenue of a Dollar General store. But history shows that stores like Brett's have a 70% chance of closing when a Dollar General opens within 2 miles of it. Small businesses can't compete with cheap groceries, billion-dollar budgets. Dollar General counts on that, which is why they disproportionately move into small towns and rural communities where they can quickly dominate the market. And God forbid that happens to Brett and the other local stores, but if it does, our county tax revenue will be right back to where it was, because we'll just be out one more small family business. The revenue's not going to increase. So let's real quick, because I want to respect your time, talk about what they give back. These stores do not bring much to our community. They hire a handful of part-time workers, most of which at such low wages that the majority of them qualify for SNAP or Medicaid. Meaning we as taxpayers end up subsidizing the jobs through our taxes. And research right now indicates that as much as 17% of Dollar General's workforce is enrolled in government assistance programs. They don't sponsor our local charities, our church programs, our ball teams. They don't donate to our schools. My business does. Y'all's business does. Many of us remember our dollars stay here. Theirs leaves to Wall Street. And if safety, property values, tax revenue aren't enough, I want you to consider the crime, because that's very, very, very important to me and to the people in this room. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of studies, many of which I've cited in your packet tonight, that show violent crime spikes when a Dollar General store opens and subsequently drops when it closes. There's a direct correlation. In Ohio, where that study was based, over 25% of all commercial robberies in 2019 happened at Dollar General. 25%. That's why law enforcement around the nation and many law enforcement here call them stop and robs. A local law enforcement officer in Sperry on our local Facebook group recently commented and said this will be a great place for us to make contact with criminals and gather security footage. Since 2019, more than 150 people have been killed and over 300 people injured at Dollar General stores by violent crime. And in rural towns like ours, and you guys know here in Pawhuska, the risk is even greater because criminals know we don't have city police down the street. They know sheriffs and Oklahoma Highway Patrol are likely 15 to 20 minutes out. That store will be a target, and my family and y'all's is a collateral damage. Is that worth the convenience that's being proposed tonight? Commissioners, we are not against growth. If this were rezoned for a local small business, we would probably all be sitting at home eating dinner with our families tonight. And no matter what the gentleman says, the proposal is not just to be rezoned for that. It's to be rezoned for a Dollar General, which we've just covered. We're against this kind of growth, the kind that takes more than it gives, the kind that makes less for our community, the kind that erodes the value of our homes and our families that make up that community. So tonight, according to that petition, over 450 families directly affected by your decision have already signed that petition saying they don't want this. And this group right here put their week on hold and drove up here, many of us over an hour, to tell you the same thing. That should tell you everything you need to know about where our community stands on this rezoning proposal. So we moved here to protect our way of life. I'm just asking that you help us protect this now. Thank you. This zoning.
Make sure you're not talking on the same topic.
Good evening. My name is Brett Riegel. I own the closest business to this site. What I've provided you in your packets are some profit and losses from a time that before I purchased the store, Betty and Bill Pollock had owned that store. They had owner financed that out to a different family in the neighborhood. Between 2015 and 2018 was the time that this other family had run Betty's Country Store. 2015, the new folks took a $217,000 loss. That's approximate value. Moving into 2016, they gained about $63,000 back. And these are gross sales. Moving to 2017, there was a loss of $117,800 approximate value. Moving into 2018, $93,000, $549 loss. After that time, Betty and Bill went through the process of taking that business back and running that business again. Betty and Bill being 80 years old at the time, struggled to do that. They spent their personal money to get that business back on track. End of 2019, with them running that business in 2019, they added $99,600 in sales. Moving into COVID era, 2020, they added another $96,000 on top of that. I don't have the 2021 numbers because Betty, Bill Pollock, and myself and my family split that year because I bought the business in 2021, about end of April, 1st of May. From what let's move into 2022. After we and my family spent approximately $200,000 to $250,000 out of our own money to upgrade the facility, move kitchens, make kitchens larger. End of that year, we made $1.34 million. That's the highest that facility has ever made in its entire existence since 2003. 2023, we increased to $1.54 million. 2024, we leveled off a little bit at about $1.5 million. And I don't have the numbers for 2025 just yet because the year's not quite over. So as you can tell, that we put our money into this business, and the community I say is behind me to make this business profitable and It's been here long enough that all of the community understands what the need is for this business. We sell fuel, we sell groceries, we sell bait, and we sell cooked food. I wrote a little letter to you guys upon giving you the actual numbers of that data during that time. With regard to the negative popularity of Dollar General stores, I see a boycott would be imminent due to the Dollar General management structure and the challenging staffing issues that they will be facing. This will result in a business closure, whether it's my business or their business. My simple point is the community is not large enough to sustain both businesses at the same time. I am against this.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Do you have anyone else that needs to speak that's not talking on the same topics?
My name is Stephen Love. I just recently moved Sperry. My family and my wife and I've lived in Glenpool my whole life. This is first time moving. I remember Glenpool being the field, a wheat field, to now what it is today. I can't stand it. My wife is a former Dollar General employee. That business treated their employees bad. Not only that, but from where my new house is, there's one 3 miles down the road. If this passes, it'd be 3/4 of a mile. It just, not only that, but I've worked in law enforcement for the last 10 years, still today. I did 6.5 years at David L. Moss. I did 14 months in Okmulgee County Jail, and now I am going on little over 2 years at the Tulsa Municipal City Jail. The most common intakes we receive is Quick Trip, Dollar Generals, anything that is easy.
Sir, I believe you're getting off on crime rates. That was already addressed in the first gentleman that spoke. He spoke eloquently on crime rates. But can you move on to something else?
It just, the town of Sperry already has one. They don't need a second. I'm against it.
Is there anyone else that needs to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Josh Ansford. I live on the property immediately east, toward Mr. Roosevelt. I have a packet with just pictures I want to show to you guys, if you don't mind. Mr. Bregner spoke on, he believes that the infrastructure for this property is in place. I think you can make an argument for roads and police and fire. My largest concern is stormwater drainage. In this packet, you'll see on that first page, this is what that corner 52nd and 103rd looked like around about 2010. There was nearly 2 acres worth of retention ponds in that area. After the development of the storage units and everything else, on the second page, you can see what that looks like. Sorry, on that first page, if you look just immediately east, that home right there at the top of the hill, that's my home. When they built the storage units, they filled in these ponds. They said the same thing, that they had a plan for stormwater. They were gonna retain all the water on property. They were gonna release any water. As you move through the packet, if you look at that second picture, this was on May 2nd, 2025, where water is completely covering my driveway and completely going over 52nd. This was after a 1/2 inch of rain. We all know in Oklahoma we get way more than a 1/2 inch of rain. This caused extensive damage to my property, cost me thousands of dollars in driveway repair, washed out. I had 2 24-inch culverts that have lasted for years and years and years, and have never had an issue with. After that storage unit went up, and after the retention ponds were filled in, the water got pushed down onto my property extremely bad. I paid $1,000 to have my driveway fixed. After that, we immediately got about another inch of rain in June. And like on this picture, you can see this caused about 2 feet of rain or water to gather on the southern side of my pastures that I've never had to deal with before. That's a very minimal amount of rain to cause this type of flooding.
You say 2 feet?
2 feet. So on that fence, that's a 5-rail fence. The 2 bottom rails are completely submerged in water. And this is a problem that we never had until that corner started getting developed. Storage unit said the same thing, that they had a stormwater plan and it was gonna get fixed. The biggest issue is it's real easy to make something look good on paper and say, hey, this is gonna work, but when the reality of it is it's flooding us out, everybody that's downstream of the code.
Yes.
And my brand new repaired driveway, I spent $1,000 for, I immediately had to do it again. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
There's one right here, she wants to talk.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My name is Rebecca Myers, and I am a resident and neighbor of Josh, so my place is just northeast of the property that we are discussing. And I'm a real estate professional as well. So one of the things I just wanted to remind everybody is today, one of the main things that Osage County is known for is what? Cattle, cowboy country, Indian country. That's what we're known for. One of the things that people come to me at when they're looking for property, specifically in Osage County and in our area, at 52nd, 103rd, in that particular area, is what it brings to the table. What they see when they drive through, when they come down 103rd, when they come down 52nd, when they come down those side roads. They see beautiful homes on land, and they don't see a lot of commercial properties. And they like the convenience of the location because we are only 15 minutes from Tulsa. We are only 15 minutes from Owasso, 10 minutes from Skytube. We do have proper, amenities within the town of Sperry, but we're far enough away that it still gives us that feel that we all are living out there for. And so I can just say here as a real estate professional that Mr. Pearson's all his research that he does is 100% accurate. We've seen a steady incline in our real estate in that area specifically, about a 25% increase in the last 5 years. And we're going to lose that percentage within 12 months. I did speak to a couple of resources within other towns, specifically the Dollar General that was put in at the Ramona Oshaleta area not too long ago. It's been a few years, but there was a grocery store there in Oshaleta that went out of business about 2 years after that that Dollar General was placed in, that had been in business for 30 years. Another item that I wanted to make a statement about was the 86th Street and Highway 75 Dollar General. Yes, it's in an area where it's still giving you that rural feel and whatnot, but I will say this, that's one of the highest crime because of the access to Highway 75. So my concern obviously would be we have a high access to 52nd and they're gone. I've been a lifelong Osage County resident. I'm a tribal member of the Osage Nation, and my family's been here since before stated in that particular area. My dad still has 10 acres of his original land that his family received from the allotment. So it is very important to me that we think about this and you guys remember what Osage County stands for and what we pride ourselves for in this community. So I don't want to take any more time and beat a dead horse, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
My name's Roger Tracy. I own the property straight to the south of this proposal. I represent 17 members of my family. We own a quarter section there, and we are against it. Crowded roads, semis, rural property.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak?
Afternoon. My name is Justin Seamus. I own the property near there on 44th and 103rd. Currently, most of that property is in a flood zone. And the other thing I would like to mention is this is all outside of limit of study that was done when a lot of that property was taken out of a predominant flood zone. So all that area that we're proposing to build this zoning, or from agricultural to zoning land, is all outside of limit of study. And I know that because that's on 100 yards on the opposite side of my fence. So I'm against it.
Anyone else needs to speak on a
Norman,
different
can I
topic?
say one more time, please?
Oh, make it quick, bud.
Okay. You want me to get up
No,
there?
just
Okay.
let's move along.
What I would like to see, maybe, if we table this until the floodplain board can look at where it floods there and why, and what they can do with it or do for it before anyone builds anything, whether even change it to
The floodplain
commercial.
board's information, should this go to the county commissioners, will go right along with it, and the county commissioners can make the decision on what they want. Okay? I'm not inclined unless the board would be inclined to table this.
Charlie, my question is
the board
why
inclined to
not,
table this?
if it floods, until we find out the flooding?
No, we're not gonna table it if the floodplain board has information. If it passes tonight and it goes to the county commissioners can make the decision on what they want to do as far as the floodplain. How much of an impact's it gonna have?
Can I say something to help Bud out there? As I met with AAB and this gentleman in District 2, and they know through as a floodplain administrator, some of my concerns with that is the proposed rezoning there is designated in a special flood hazard area. The storage buildings were not. That flood hazard area is right past there. It is a designated special flood hazard area. I do have some information coming from the Oklahoma Water Resources Board in regards to that and their recommendations of what we can get done. So as floodplain administrator, I don't know if I should say this right now or not. I would incline no commercial business go there because it is going to we've had a bunch of issues with that road anyway. That's my opinion on it. It's where that is going east. We're just asking for trouble, and I am the floodplain administrator as far as any commercial going that way. I tried to relay that in my meeting.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak?
I'm Rebecca Drogemiller. I live on 44th. My property goes all the way to 52nd. My biggest concern are my horses and their health and safety. Dollar Generals, I have not been by one. There's a full of trash and nastiness outside. They never unpack their stores. They're disgusting. I don't want the trash in my pastures. I have enough problem keeping stuff picked up off 52nd already because that's my hay meadow. I have very expensive horses. I don't want them to die. And all of that area, the floodplain, that creek goes right through my property. So whatever they don't clean up is going to be in my property with my horses, and it goes through all my pastures.
Ma'am, I think we've had people talk as far as the cleanliness generally of the corporation. I think we've had that topic.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm absolutely against it.
No one else in the back room wants to speak? We don't have anybody that speaks. I'd like to have a number. If everybody, sure, come on up.
My name's James Perigo. I live just west of the proposed site off of 55th West Avenue. And I'm not going to add to all the good points that have probably already been made, but the engineer did state that they're requesting just a decision on ag to commercial, but he also stated directly what their intents are. So that, he invoked that. So you can consider that, whether that's what's on the petition or not, because he provided it, he's the petitioner. The only other thing I would ask is if you're not going to make a decision to deny this petition, then maybe delay it so that we can gather more information about the impacts.
If the board decides to, we will make a decision on whether they have met the regulations that set forth that this board has to consider so they can proceed forward. If it goes to county commissioners, they make the decision then. Sounds like you may have some floodplain issues that need to be included here too also. So it's not just this. We're here to decide, have they complied with the regulations that is set forth in county policy? Okay.
I'm against.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody?
I'm willing to redo the rules that you guys are supposed to follow, that you have the control over.
Yeah, we're not here to discuss that tonight. We're here to discuss this public hearing, not that. Anybody else in the back room?
The only thing
I
I'd like
need
to say, and I'm not.
Our county is way talking about.
The note out there on the land said to contact the Planning and Zoning Commission, and that's what they did. Nobody was contacting my office, and I put a video out for people to contact me so that we could hear their voice and for them to be able to be heard. We got flooded with calls and concerns and things like that, and I just wanted the people to know that we did hear you guys, and we'll take that from there. I mean, I can't tell you how I'm gonna vote because I got another commissioner here, but I do wanna say that I heard you guys, and I'll leave it at
If there's nobody else here that wants to speak, I'd like to get a tally on two, maybe we ought to just count heads and ask somebody to raise their hand if they're for it. It might be the quickest way to do it. I'm open to suggestions here. If you want to go down the road, Jake, if you want to watch what's in the back room, I'd like to have a number here. How many people that live in Osage County in this area that this is going to affect?
It's them.
It'll affect all of us.
It'll affect everybody that's here. And how many people do you think we have here? Give me an estimate. How many people we got here?
I just also want you to take into consideration that this was a 50-some mile drive for the people that live in that area, and it's at the end of the workday, so if you had this meeting in that location, there'd probably be 200 people.
I will say a lot of us are here representing a larger family. I'm here at least for 6
I
families,
can't do
so for
anything
sure.
about these dates are set well ahead of time. They have to be synchronized with the Secretary of State, whole big deal. I can't do anything about that. None of this board can do anything about that.
I think their point was this number is just a very small percentage of what we
We
have.
realize that. We have some elected officials that are trying to pay more attention to that area by getting into those areas. So we didn't get this far, we didn't get this place overnight. We're not gonna change it overnight. Okay? How many do you think we got here tonight? 300.
There's probably 75 or 80.
Is there anybody in the back room that's against this? Nobody spoke up, so.
You mean
For it. I mean, for it.
I mean, for it, yeah.
Everybody's against it. You can't, Charlie, you can't see it, but that's all of them right there.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought we had more back there than what we got.
Steve, you can go too. You can go. I mean, you're
You're a
here.
citizen enough.
How many do you think we have?
About 80 present.
Charlie, I have a question. Are you all allowed to table this tonight?
We're not.
You're not allowed to table it?
The board can decide what they want to do.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And if we can get to the next agenda item, we'll discuss what we're going to do. Okay? Okay, you want to speak for a minute? I'm sorry, I've got all night.
I want to take a couple minutes. I just wanted to reiterate what Alan spoke about at the beginning, that from an appropriateness of what's before you, it's not picking users, it's picking uses. Certainly appreciate everybody taking their time and voicing their opinion. This is not the first type of these meetings that we go to. We're not the tenant, we are the developer. We are out of Tulsa. We're not New York, we're not Nashville, we are from Tulsa. I'm certainly available to answer questions you've got. We're aware of the floodplain issues. all of the technical aspects that go into the permitting of a commercial site. We do it. It's what we do in communities such as Perry. That's the job that we do. From the commercial impact standpoint, one thing that I would reiterate is that, like Mr. Riggle said, I mean, he's got a commercial property that's just a mile down the road that is not terribly different from this piece of property. And at some point, somebody, this board or otherwise, decided was appropriate for commercial use. And again, 100% clarity. If this board votes to recommend approval and the county commission votes along those same lines, we will build a Dollar General. We're not going to build anything else. If we didn't get that approval, we won't buy it. And so that's the point of Alan's clarity, is that we don't want to come to these meetings and try to hide behind just some generic commercial development. Certainly appreciate your time, everybody else's time that's here. If you've got questions, I'll certainly try to answer them. All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yep.
How is this gonna benefit our neighborhood?
Sales tax.
What?
Sales tax.
Sales tax. So, how is that gonna offset the sales tax that Regal's already gets?
I think they've already discussed sales tax in previous questions.
I want his opinion.
We're not going to get off into a slugfest, okay? I'm getting ready to close this public hearing if there's no other input outside, yes.
What was your name?
Stuart Vanderwill.
Okay, and you're with who?
Group Companies out of Tulsa.
Group?
RUPE.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen when the Dollar General gets built and it fails, and we have this ugly ass building that's being terrorized with hoodlums?
We're not here to attack that issue in the public hearing.
But it's gonna be in my community.
After the public hearing closes, then the board will review and make a decision.
My name is Jesse Henry. I live on 57th and 103rd. As far as addressing like the commercial use of that property, so we, if we would have known that those storage units were going to look like that, we would have said no, because the light pollution, the traffic, they haven't even fixed up the outside of it. It looks like trash. So they're going to add in another Dollar General, which, yeah, it's gonna look shiny new when they put it in, but we all know that they don't keep up on it, right?
We've already heard about that.
Right, so you heard about that, but
We've heard that.
it's against we don't want any commercial in there, right? We already feel like we got hoodwinked with the storage units. So now, we do not want an additional commercial property put in next door,
Yes.
Okay,
okay?
okay, thank you. Hey, real quick, because I'm getting ready to
Yes,
close.
my name is Charlotte Henry. It is not an equivalent commercial activity. We go up to Betty's, we have a piece of pie. I challenge you to go get a piece of their pie and sit in there and have a cup of coffee. And it's where our community gets to talk. And he's hosted so many events. A Dollar General does not invite that. And I beg you, do not take away our community.
You don't understand. We are here. That would be a matter for the county commissioners to decide. They may accidentally.
Is this decision already made?
No. I've explained this several times already, okay? Do I have any input from the board?
Are you falling on protocol? If
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
just what it is?
Ma'am?
We showed up here for you to do something.
No.
I think he's just asking to close the public hearing.
Somewhere along the way.
That's all he's
like,
asking.
Commissioner Talbert said, there's misinformation going out there about what this, and it tends to frequent this county sometimes, a lot of misinformation about what we can do, what we can't do. People will just start posting stuff here and there and signs and stuff that are not even close to what we can do. There are other steps you have to go through. We are not empowered by law to change some of this stuff.
Actually, on the website, it does say what we do, zoning and land use regulation, promote orderly development while preserving the county's unique charm.
That's what we're doing, okay?
The county's unique rural charm.
That's
not commercial.
We're not gonna get in debate.
At what point do we have an answer about this?
I'll make a motion, to close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing first.
Tonight?
Motion made,
Yeah, they're
seconded,
closing
close
it,
the
and then
public
they're
hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 9, discussion of possible action for rezoning 2026-01 Allen Betcham, Section 8, Township number 21 North, 12 East, from ag to commercial. Any discussion from the board?
Well, Charlie, here's the deal. I know a lot of the people in this room. I respect y'all coming here. You made it, I live in Osage County too. I enjoy the rural lifestyle and stuff like that. Now, I'm hearing a couple things I'm a little confused about, and I just want to try to get a good understanding. Someone had said, well, we would have probably not paid any attention on this commercial zone and it hadn't have been a Dollar General. So, does that mean that you're against commercial zoning or just against a certain person doing a certain thing? We had a little incident a few years ago with a young lady that in Skytube, she's in the insurance business. And we had a piece of property on Highway 20 that there was no problem to change the zoning to commercial. They didn't have any issues or anything. Here's what I sit here and I listened to a whole bunch of people saying, we don't want it there. Because we bought our little place and we just don't want anybody to do anything else with their place. Then this woman would argue and say, well, we don't want to change it to commercial because what if they fail and then somebody's going to rent it for a marijuana shop? And then I said to this woman, I said, well, it's a good thing that 30 years ago, nobody wanted you to have a State Farm insurance office. So here's the deal. I think you all have a good argument with environmental. Okay, I think there's some issues about the water. And I think there was a gentleman that had some pictures and all. I don't know how many of y'all ever shop at Walmart, ever. Terrible company. They come in, they open up a Walmart, they destroy the town, then they build a super Walmart, and they shut down the regular Walmart because then everybody gets used to going 30 miles up the road. How many of y'all ever bought gas at a Quick Trip? Same thing. If you had a little corner gas station, they'd run them out of business. We all buy stuff at these places, okay? The thing is, there's a couple things that I think could happen here. If there's 500 people that don't want this, they can get together and pool $250 a piece and buy this land, put it in a conservation district.
How much is it an acre?
Sir, my understanding is the contract that the sale.
This part of the hearing
Well, what I'm saying
is
is
for the board.
this could have happened before that. What you all need to do is write down, and if there's any piece of property that might have something that you don't want to see, everybody get together and just buy
The
it.
seller is not looking to sell his
Right, but
land.
what I'm trying to say, okay, is,
Gary, this is the same thing you've said for every time we've come here.
You-
You don't
you-
like what's going on, buy the property. It's not for sale.
right, and you know what else I say, if you could have paid attention to me?
Easy.
I said, use environmental, I am not for all commercial rezoning. I have voted against commercial rezoning. If I can have an argument about environmental impact and all these other things, that carries a whole lot of weight with me, okay? So, and I think from what Jake said, I think we do have some concerns here, okay? Now, just like what they said, there's a different effect of what the storage facility has with stormwater, whatever, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, this gentleman here's got a problem with his water, and then we want to have another piece of property that's next to the storage place, zone commercial. And I don't care what anybody says, when you pave a parking lot, the water's going somewhere. And I understand they try to manage it, and I respect that, okay? But I do see some concerns here, okay? I think y'all have some legitimate concerns. I think, and I understand that when people move to the country, they don't want anything else around them. They don't want to own all the land around them. They just don't want anybody else to do anything with it. Because they just want to look at it.
I bought 22 acres to stop a neighborhood back
Right.
behind me. I have the money, tell me how much it is an acre.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, I live out there on 80 acres, I'd like to have 500-600 acres. There's a woman that built something up on the hill, looked like a Walmart truck turned over her yard. There's crap everywhere, but you know what?
And it makes you upset, doesn't
But you
it?
don't, guess what? That's American, that's the way it is. I could have bought that piece of property, but I didn't know she was gonna do that with it. She's allowed to do what she wants.
So if you
So you're
had
gonna tell
known-
other people to just go buy it, but you couldn't
No,
do
what I'm
that?
saying is, the problem I have is when someone moves somewhere and they like the view, and I respect that. They don't want anybody, if they don't own the view, they don't want anybody to ever do anything so they can keep looking at the view.
I don't want more commercial businesses around.
Right, well, here we
live in an
go.
ag region
Here we
for a
go to the
reason.
commercial and the fact that I have some concerns with it because of the water and other issues.
Yeah, my place is one home that gets flooded.
What did I just say?
We've already talked about that.
So,
Well, it hasn't been one out
We've already
investigating.
talked about the flooding issue.
right, so I'm gonna pass on that now, Charlie,
Anybody
but I
else?
do understand y'all's
Anybody else on the
concerns.
board have any comments?
I've been looking through my packet and I always hate when I read something and then I can't find it. Someone in one of their comments said that they know that this is, and the realtor said, things are going to change. But I hope to see, and part of the reason I'm on this is I'm the same way. I love Osage County, I've lived here, they'll bury me here. And I don't want to see Osage County deteriorate. And there are states that do this. Now, I don't like Massachusetts, I'm gonna tell you right now, but I guarantee you, there's no ugly dollar stores in Massachusetts. Every building that's built in Massachusetts has to be a standard.
Yeah.
And I would, that's just all the person that was speaking said, this should be a wake-up call. We should all start thinking about whether we want, what we want Osage County to be, and try to maintain that.
Absolutely.
And so, Terry, I'm with you. I'm also a lifelong Republican and I don't want to tell other people what to do. But there comes a point, I drive around on the roads here in Osage County and there's some properties that look like awful.
Do you know how many of them are in ag?
Oh, I know, that's what, right, but still, I don't know the answer, but I think it's
Right.
time to start thinking about it.
No, I agree with you.
That's all.
Anybody else have any comments?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I'll speak from here. As Osage County's planner and floodplain administrator, I just like I said, I know we can't talk about what's going in there, but we kind of already know the cat's out of the bag. I went out and specifically drove it just so the board knows. I'm in this specific place. I don't care what somebody would want to do as a planner. I wouldn't feel comfortable. That's just me, and that's going to be my opinion on it. I don't care if it was Sam Walton's family themselves who want to put something in there, and said, "Hey, this is off the record. We'll give you $1 billion if you retire and let us put it in there." I wouldn't do it because it didn't need to go there with respect to being a planner and the floodplain administrator. Secondly, I drove and from that spot, and I drove 4 minutes and 28 seconds to the nearest Dollar General east. I drove 5 minutes and 42 seconds to the nearest Dollar General to the north. As a planner, in my mind as a planner, I think that the people that live there, if they want to get to Dollar General, they'll drive a couple minutes. That's just me as a planner. And then what our job is to try to keep things with, now, I don't want to get off on this, but we can talk after this. I know there've been some issues in the past. What we approved the last two, where we had a bunch of major issues, we're talking about single-family dwellings in those, okay? That's a big difference. And everybody that loves Donald Trump, you guys realize he's pushing for accessible housing all over the country. Yeah. So I just want to make those points because we're doing the job that we're supposed to be doing. And we're trying to take care of the people the way we're supposed to. And I know there's people here from this area. There's a lot of great people down there. There's some other people that have tried to do nothing but cause us problems right here in this building right here. And the issue is we've saved them 3 or 4 different issues down there that don't ever get talked about.
Exactly.
And we just want people to know that we're here to answer any questions, to help out, to do what we can do, but we have a job to do too. And everybody out there has a right to go through due process. And I think that's why they're here, and that's why you're here. We're going through due process.
Thank you, Mr.
Anything else from the rest of the board? Nothing else? Yes.
I'd like to say that I'm a believer in communities being able to determine how they grow, and that we have a comprehensive plan. I don't know how many of you have ever looked at it. That gives us kind of a guideline of how to proceed with that. Agricultural to commercial is a big leap, and I, for one, think that the people that live in the community have a right to determine what their community is going to be like. That's just a personal opinion. Legally, should we just be looking at an issue of changing agricultural to commercial without looking at the long-term impact? That's not the way I feel about it. You know, I have a neighborhood too. I know what I would and wouldn't want in my neighborhood. And are there legal ways to sidestep regulations? Probably. I just don't care to participate in them. But I appreciate you guys coming out here and letting us know what the community feels like.
Anybody else? Nobody else from the board wants to speak? Can I have a motion to approve? Do I have any motions?
I'll make a motion to deny.
I'll second that. Motion is made and seconded to deny. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding lot split 2235, Justin and Maddie Garrison. Anyone here for Garrison?
We would ask that this be tabled until after the commission makes a decision about the recommendation.
Okay. Do I have a motion to table?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? We're in the company.